God, Thursday morning. Good God, Thursday morning. How y'all doing this wonderful Thursday? Good old morning. I am none other than your GPS, God's personal servant, Marnisha MC. That is me. Listen, um, the week is almost over for myself. Today, Thursday. God has given us this Thursday. It's Trigger Thursday. Trigger Thursday. Um, so thinking about this morning, I guess. I guess it was this morning. How nobody liked to be told what to do. Nobody really likes being told what to do. Um, it don't matter what age you are. When we're younger, we suppose kind of, we don't know what life is tomorrow. We don't know nothing about nothing when we're younger, babies. And so I started kind of my mind started going there and playing with that and thinking about that. How no, why we don't like to be told what to do, even if it's told in a nice way. Some things are definitely still a pushback. It's still and it's still not received or heard or embraced. But when you're a child and your parents tell you what to do, your guardians tell you what to do, don't touch that stove, or go clean your room, or it's time to eat. Even yet, better yet, what to eat, how to eat. Chew up all your food. Chew with your mouth closed. Um, it's just time to wake up. Let's go to school. You know, um, Iron your stuff. It's um it's getting on the schedule. It's getting on anything with direction. We just like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. My mama tripping. My daddy tripping. Why do I gotta eat broccoli? Why I gotta eat vegetables? You know. And even if we was when we were babies and they feeded us the baby food, we tend to, if we was supposed to, hopefully they was feeding us vegetables and fruits and all this stuff, but we never kind of cared. We buck up against it later, but we was eating that stuff. Hopefully our parents was eating some good nutrition while they was pregnant with us. um and if they wasn't, our bodies just function and need some things, right? And so it's like we get to a place where we feel that we know it all, and we get to a place of even knowing our own routine after we created our routine. We get to a place of feeling, well, this is me, and because this is who I am, I have to operate as such. And so it's all like, in any relationship, any dynamic, it is definitely told. Lord knew my heart. Um, I'm sorry, that was a side conversation for what I'm approaching. Um, so when we have those things and times, and we get this little attitude of kind of chip on our shoulder, um, after being told what to do. Hey, Timmy, it's time to wake up. Don't forget to wear your socks. I don't like wearing socks. Socks ain't comfortable. I don't want to put no socks on. Or even when it is, you may wear socks with shoes, but this was something I used to, my mom would always tell me, put something on your feet. I will wear socks. She say, put some house shoes on. I don't want to wear no house shoes. Socks are more comfortable. I'm in a more relaxed state. That's what I like. But it was preparing me to not stay sick. And also, it was a form of protection for my feet. The things I know now, if I would have listened when I was a child, I would probably be better off from a lot of things. Now, um, my I'm one of the ones where when you have good people in your life, changing my thought. When you my comment, y'all. So that's why I ended up like this. When you have people in your life that do really want to mean you well, and your parents mean you well, sometimes, when you get older, you recognize some stuff and you say, okay, I ain't gonna always buck up against the system. I'm not gonna always come and challenge, right? But then it's sometimes when don't always have good support, or you're not always heard, or you all not always your voice doesn't matter, you know. And then when people try to tell you what to do, then it's like, you're not going to control me. I let me learn my way. I know my way, and it have always been a way of direction for clarity, direction for strength, direction to make us better people. But even when we get in closer relationship and dynamic once we are adults, the way we even embrace relationships, as far as our partners, our friends, like our friends may not get a little, well, if our friends is telling us truth and they're telling us, man, you need to watch out for that. Man, bruh, sis, man, be careful. Like, I'm seeing something. And you like, all right, cool. Yeah. And then we automatically think, if they say, watch out for that person, watch out for that other friend, watch out for this. We had this little chip on our shoulder, like, all right, I got you. Yeah, I ain't listening to that. You either hate it. This is the first thing we go to. We go to negativity. You're either hating, you either jealous, hating, jealous, interchangeable, or we come up with a negative thought after it, instead of realizing, like, dang, they may do me some good. My female friends, I have one. Like, anybody, I promise you, anybody knew that came in my life, she was always skeptical of everybody. And that's just how she is. And I'm like, man, you just too skeptical of everybody. You got something to say about everybody, you know. And so, but she was always quiet, always reserved. I'm like, you don't even know their name. I ain't even give you a whole full introduction. It can be other friends, it can be even younger people I mentored. It was always something that she had an eye for. And so, and I was like, man, I got to a point where whatever, all right, I don't see it. So whatever. And so with me being, when she was just, then she just was like, okay, cool. But then then it was like they come around. So she started to test people and you know, kind of watch people a little more if they stayed around longer. But it was some people I had in my life that they quick in, quick out. And so those people I had to go back and say, yeah, you was right. Something was off. I wasn't feeling it. And so for that, I had to learn too that, all the time she was not right. But majority of the time, 90% of the time, she was correct in what she sensed, and her discernment was very strong. And I was just like, you don't even like people though. That's where it come from. You don't like people. You don't like this. You don't like that. And so she would always kind of warn me, right? And even now to this day, um, that was a friend, right? A good friend. And our attitude was, yeah, that was how it was. All right, whatever. Then I got older. I mean, even now, yeah. Now that I'm older and have a different dynamic of relationships, you have your partners that come in, and your partner may say to me, and I'm like, here we go. And so I have this thing where it's kind of one of those things where if you didn't like something before and it kind of made you feel uncomfortable, and then you get it again and it still kind of make you feel uncomfortable. And so this morning I had to realize, like, and I had to go down memory lane, that some of the things why is because sometimes I just didn't like nobody to tell me what to do. So with that, and then learning things the hard way when I shouldn't have to learn the hard way. Now I will watch people life and let their life be the example for me. And that would tell me whatever. But when it comes to certain things and certain people or whatever, it was like, no, no, no. So when we get into this thing of when we have good support, sometimes we listen and sometimes we don't. We have people sometimes that don't mean us well. We kind of tend to that and stuff. And so when then it start developing in our relationships when we get older with our partners, or even with our children, or we don't know. Oh, when you kids, I can't wait till I get grown. Nobody gonna tell me. I ain't gonna listen to nobody. Then we have the attitude, and then when we're older, we start making all these bad decisions and don't get wise counsel, and then buck up against it, buck up against everybody, and we wondering why stuff ain't going right. Is because we're not taking heed to the wisdom or the instructions or the listening to nobody else tell us things, because we're so triggered by I was controlled. I didn't have no freedom as a child. I couldn't go there. Here, I couldn't go there. My generation, my mama didn't let me go everywhere. My mama didn't let me spend the night over nobody's house. My mama didn't even let people over my house all the time. She had to really know them in the family. And it was like, nope, Nisha, you can't go to the mall with your friends. Well, why? I'm just going to the mall. Everybody else, mama let them go to the mall. Everybody else, mama let them do this. And I can't do nothing. I'm the only one in the class can't meet up at the mall. So I had this little whole attitude. So then when it was time for me to have some freedom, I did have this kind of like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Because for 18 years I listened and obeyed and did. Even if I had pushed back, I listened and obeyed and I did it. But it still bothered me. So even when we get in relationships and get people in our life that do mean us well, sometimes it's like, you say, even and you have a partner and I'm not, and man, this is just how I kind of am. When I see a little pushback, I kind of shrink back. But that's not always good neither. To shrink back because you get us some pushback. Because I'm one that push back sometimes. So when on this Trigger Thursday, it's the things of the lessons we have to learn, but because we have been in our childhood, had kind of been covered or protected, or even like we felt like we was controlled, we felt like this, we felt like that, and then even our loved one, our boo bays get it most. You know what I'm saying? I know you ain't gonna talk to me like that. You ain't gonna tell me what to do. I don't have to listen to you, but y'all in this thing together. You in relationships, you married, you're engaged, you got a boo bae, y'all living together, living with each other. It is a dynamic where you have to listen. Oh, no, you ain't gonna have me. And people don't like to. Now, this is my own thought. The word submission is a great word. It's supposed to be duality between both. And somehow it got changed to lordship and controlling, and the word submission has been abused. No reason to abuse it. It's a powerful word to really create strength one to another, because the things you can't see, I can. The things they can't see, you can. So it works together. And when you're trying to build something, a strong foundation of any form, it needs to be a level of submission, not control, not dictatorship, not none of those things. But we are easily triggered by that because of how somebody talked to us back in the day, or how we was raised back in the day. All these things, but it's a level of listening that everybody needs to take heed to. I'm one. It's a level of not pushing back. It's a level of embracing your strong support system. It's a level of realizing that you may have somebody that really love you. You may have friends that ain't jealous of you. You may have some they not really envious of you. They not, and then you ain't all, they not all that bad. But then you do have to learn your lessons. And some lessons that we learn, we have to learn because we're hard-headed. And some we don't need to, and some that we do learn, we can learn just by listening and watching others. So on being triggered, don't have on this Trigger Thursday, let's be able to listen to one another, to clearly hear. Heard this guy talk about it and he used the word and I couldn't really get the word before, but comprehend. When is the level of comprehension, it's a level of understanding. And it's not comprehending saying you don't get it, but you're opening to really receive and understand what someone else is really talking about and where they're really coming from. And also knowing the history of that person to even understand this is the way they may be, this is the root, or this is how this may lock in with their fear, this may lock in with their trauma, this may lock in with their bad experiences. But however, on this good old Thursday, don't listening. Let's defeat our triggers today by listening to the whole picture, listening to the whole thing, eating the whole roll, and know what to take for you and what not to take for you. But don't be so easily and don't be so quick to push back that you miss everything that's for you. Thank y'all for joining me. Like, tag, and share another. That's me, your GPS, God's personal servant, Marnisha T. Have a blessed one. Remember, always encourage somebody, speak well to someone today, but most of all, grace yourself.